Welcome back everyone, this is Kylie the Curly Crafter and I'm super excited for today because I'm going to do a sewing video. We will be sewing some super festive Halloween pillows and this is one of my first times but everything turned out amazing. We will be making a really cool pumpkin pillow. I actually made this one with my grandma and she also taught me how to make these candy corns, which I will be making in this video. I'm going to make a big one today, but also you can change the size down to a tiny mini candy corn for your shelf. So for the white pumpkin, we are going to start out and use one of these. This is actually like a cheap pumpkin from Ross, but you don't need it. I'm just going to use the stuffing on the inside and I decided to make a pattern with it. The fabric I'm going to use is this really soft burnt orange one. My inspiration for this jack-o'-lantern pumpkin I'm getting ready to do is actually like from Pottery Barn and it's this really expensive pillow. It's like $100 but I really like it so I'm going to DIY it. I'm super excited to do that and we're also going to get some fabric for the candy corn. So let's go get the fabric right now and then come back and sew. Alright, we just got back from Joann's and I got the 3 candy corn colors to do the pillows that I want to make for the Halloween season. I'm super excited to do it and I'm also going to go over to Hobby Lobby and get some more fabric for some pumpkin DIYs. So let's go get some fabric at Hobby Lobby. So right now we are here at Hobby Lobby and I'm getting ready to head in and get some more fabric, so let's go do that. Supplies at Hobby Lobby, I only paid $16.19. So we are going to start off by making the intricate pumpkin pillows, and what I did is I just made like a pattern. If we cut off half a panel and half a panel here, then we got these 2 pieces, which is just a crescent. So if you guys don't have a pumpkin to do a pattern, just use a piece of paper, draw out like a half a circle or like a little moon shape, a little crescent, and then you can use that to make your pumpkins and follow along with me. So for this video, you will actually need the fabric. Don't forget your mighty sewing machine, some thread, and then you will also need some stuffing if you don't have that already. So we are going to start out with your fabric of choice. I'm just going to lay mine out so it's easy to work with. And then you can take your paper pattern or just your regular pattern and lay it on your fabric. We will need to cut out 12 of these crescents. I have all 12 of my crescent shapes all cut out and still have some extra fabric for a different project. Now we are going to work on assembling all of our panels. So you're going to start with your half a panel and then place the other half of your panel on top of it with the good fabric facing inside and your bad fabric facing outward, so that when you sew it and you flip it right side out, you will have a nice clean seam. A little disclaimer is that if you don't already know how to use a sewing machine, I definitely recommend watching a simple tutorial because I will not be going into detail about how the machine works. For our panels, we are going to sew around the rounded edge so we can create a nice seam when we flip it the right way, and then make sure when sewing that you have your bad part of the fabric or the one that you are not going to be sewing facing outwards so you don't create any unnecessary tangles. This is what it should look like once being sewn around the edges, and then if you can see here, I'm just going to flip it the right way, and because we sewed it in this manner, now we have a nice clean and crispy type of seam on our edge for our pumpkin. Continue this process until you have 6 full-sized panels. Do keep in mind that when sewing your seams on your pumpkins, you want to keep the seam about the same distance from the edge all the way around, but also don't think about it too hard if you make a mistake, because since we are flipping the seam in the raw edges inward, that means you won't see too many of your imperfections. Now if you can see here, I'm just going to show you guys kind of what it will look like in the end. Next up on the list is to show you guys how to attach all of the panels together. You should have 6 of them all facing the right way with the good fabric outwards, and then in order to attach them, you're going to lay 2 panels on top of each other. Then you're going to grab the inside edges, one from each panel, and then you are going to take it just like it is and sew it. Continue this process of sewing the panels until all of them are attached. For reference, when flipping your attached panels back how they are supposed to be, this is what they will look like. It is just a couple hours later, and I'm going to give you guys an update on the progress of the pumpkin. So I actually continued to film, but my camera wasn't cooperating and didn't film some of the parts, so I'm just going to fill you guys in. Needless to say, I just finished sewing all of our panels together, and then I sewed the bottom shut so that I could flip it inside out and stuff it with some stuffing. And then I also removed one of the felt stems from a previous pumpkin that I had, attached that on. Now let's work on our jack-o'-lantern face. For the pumpkin face, I'm just going to use some black felt and cut out the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. I just recently learned how to use the sewing machine, and I am no expert when it comes to hand sewing, so this is just kind of all over the place. But I tried my best and I just hand sewed the face onto my pillow pumpkin. Right now it is currently still on and it works out pretty well, so I definitely recommend hand sewing it if you have that option or skill rather than hot gluing it. And if you don't know how to sew, hot glue is also a good option. Just beware that it might fall off. So for our candy corns, you are going to have to cut out pieces like this. You're going to need it to be super wide because it'll be connected together, and then at the top for the white, it's going to have a dome shape that will come together, and make sure that this tapers in so it'll create the shape of a candy corn. So I already have the pattern cut out, but I'm going to be making 4 of these, so I'm just going to cut out the rest of the fabric that I need. Now we are going to trace out the bottom of our candy corns just using this bowl. It is about the right circumference, so I'm just going to take a bowl. You can do your math, figure out exactly what size you want to do, or just find a bowl roughly that fits if you have one available. So I'm just going to take this bowl, line it up to the edges of the fabric, trace it, and cut it out for our candy corn's bottom. For the assembly of your candy corn, place the orange strip on top of the yellow one, then fold down, and then place this under your sewing machine and continue to sew it so that when you unfold it, then your candy corn will begin to form. This is what it should look like, and then do the same thing with the white piece and then fold it down on top of the orange and sew it together. Repeat this process till you have 2 candy corns, and then for the attachment, you want them to be lined up together with the part of the fabric that you want showing facing inward, so the part with the rough seams are facing outward. And to make things easier, use some sewing pins just to hold down the seams as you are sewing. Start sewing from the bottom corner and then sew all the way around to the other side, and then make sure you stop at the other bottom corner and leave the bottom of your candy corn open. With your candy corn still facing inside out, we are going to sew together our bottom. So what you're going to need to do is just kind of line that up with your candy corn and use your sewing pins to keep it in place and attach it while you are sewing by. So this is pretty advanced, and my grandma was able to teach me how to do it, but you are going to have to go very slow and just keep adjusting it so that you don't get other parts that you don't want sewn together attached up and tangled up in your project. So just take your time with this and then sew around and remove your sewing pins as you go along. Make sure when sewing this that you don't go all the way around and leave probably about a 2-inch gap just so that you can use it to flip the candy corn right side out again. With your completed candy corn pouch, just use some stuffing and then fill it all the way up so that you will have a nice cushiony type of candy corn pillow. I prefer mine super stiff so it holds its shape better, so I really stuffed in a bunch of old stuffing from Pillows and also some stuffing from Hobby Lobby. The bag that I got was $2.99. With the remaining open gap, once again, you can hand sew it or hot glue it. I just find that is more durable and better quality if I hand sew it. I hope that y'all enjoyed my super easy tutorial on my pumpkin and candy corn throw pillow. I absolutely like them, and if you guys did too, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. Thank you guys for watching, and bye everyone!